Hi everyone, welcome to another Heroes of the Grid monster video. Continuing with our Halloween theme of monster coverage of Heroes of the Grid, today I'm going to be covering Aigai, one of my personal favorite monsters from Mighty Morphin. Probably because it was a Billy-centric episode and he's my favorite ranger, but either way, like all monsters, Aigai has 8 cards in his enemy deck. I'm going to go over the cards one by one first this time, and then I'll say how many copies of each card Aigai has in his deck at the end. I kind of flipped it around with Pudgy Pig, but at the time I wasn't really thinking about it. I was doing it like I do the Ranger coverage where I do the shield values, but as I was recording I thought about it and thought, wait a second, they don't have shield values, so I don't need to cover that in the first part of the video. I can cover them at the end. Anyway, the first card I'm going to cover is the card that I've mentioned in quite a few of my Ranger videos, and that's going to be Scattered Visage. It's a 3 health card with the guard and passive keyword. Its ability says, while this card is in play, each time a ranger deals damage to this card, reduce it to 1. So it doesn't matter how many dice you roll, how much damage you deal. You can deal 10 damage, roll 10 dice, and get at least 1 with all of them. That 10 damage is reduced to 1, and he's down to 2 health. And the next attack will be the same, and the attack following. So this is a card that you're going to have to get out of the way first because it's a guard card. So unless another guard card is next to it, it's going to be protecting anything else you want to be attacking. And since you're reducing, all the damage is reduced to 1, each time you do damage to it, it's going to take a while to get through. This is where something like Zach's Hip Hop Keto or his Sweeping Strike would come in handy. If you want to just deal some quick chip damage, Kimberly's ability at the start of the round, her quick shot. Let's say Trini's Twin Fang Teamwork. She could, after you deal 1 damage to this, she could come in and deal 1 more damage because they're 2 separate instances of damage, so it's 2 damage onto the Scattered Visage. And then once you finally get rid of this card, you can start attacking the more dangerous cards that Aigai has in his deck. Again, it's not like an unfair card, but it is just an annoying card to come across. There's another boss later in the game that kind of has a ability a little similar to this, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that card when we get to that boss eventually down the line. And next on Aigai's list of cards is going to be his Optic Blast. Now, I'm not sure if the creators of the game named it Optic Blast, obviously because he's Aigai and he shoots beams from his eyes, but just because of that, or if he was thinking of Cyclops from the X-Men, Optic Blast from Marvel vs. Capcom games, or all those other crossover fighters that he did. Either way, love the name. Optic Blast is a 4 health card with no keywords on it. Its ability reads, deal 2 damage to each ranger twice. So if you have all 5 rangers fighting Aigai, they're each going to take 2 damage, twice, 2 different times. So they're going to flip 1 card over, and let's say it's a 3 shield card that's going to go to the bottom of their deck. So that's the first attack of 2 damage. Then they're going to have to flip another card because they're taking 2 separate attacks of 2 damage. And if that card's, say, a 2 shield, that card's going to get discarded because it's just enough to take the damage. But unfortunately, since it's just enough, it has to be discarded. Not a really super dangerous card. It's just more annoying than anything. If you only have 1 card in your deck and it's, like, let's say it's your power weapon, you don't have to worry about this card at all because you're just going to keep flipping your power weapon and it goes to the bottom of the deck, so you flip it again. It's not that deadly, but it just has a little more health than the Scattered Visage, so it'll take a little longer to get rid of. Well, actually, probably not, because it's not being reduced to 1. You'll probably take it out in 1 hit, maybe even 2, depending on how many dice you roll. Moving on to his third card, which is Focused Fire, which is a 3 health card, no keywords. Its ability says, deal 4 damage to the ranger with the fewest cards in their deck. Now, this card can be pretty deadly because let's say you're on a team with, let's say, 2 other rangers, and let's say this is the last card to attack, and your team's running a little low on cards. One person only has 2 cards left in their deck. This is going to deal 4 damage to them. If all they have left in their deck are 2 shield cards, then they're going to they're going to lose a life, potentially even end the game if it's your last life. 2 shields or 1 shield, they're going to be taken out. So this one is more dangerous than Optic Blast, I feel. But it does have less health, so that kind of evens it out more so. Still not that dangerous, but something to be aware of. Finally, his last card is Devour Mind. It's a 5 health card with the fast keyword. Its ability says the ranger with the most cards in their hand must discard 3 cards from their hand. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Thankfully, it says you must discard 3 cards from your hand. It doesn't say at random, so whoever discards the cards can choose any 3 cards that they want. Unfortunately, it's still 3 cards, so if you had 5 cards in your hand, you're down to 2 now. If you're the one who happen to have the most with only 3 cards, you just lost your entire hand. So it is more annoying, I'd say, than dangerous, but it does have 5 health, so it is going to take a little while. It might take a couple hits to finally take it out. And it's a fast keyword, so it's probably going to activate first, meaning you have fewer options when dealing with it. And all the other Igai cards. I want to say Cyclopsis, but that's a different monster. One of his more dangerous cards, I think. And that is all of the different Igai cards in his deck. As I said, I'm going to break down the number of each card he has. Igai has 2 copies of Scattered Visage, 3 copies of Optic Blast, 2 copies of Focused Fire, and 1 copy of Devour Mind. That makes up his enemy deck. And that is Igai. I was thinking about starting with him first instead of Pudgy Pig, but I don't know, I just kind of felt like I had to start with the most famous monster of the week. The only reason I was considering Igai is because I always mention the Scattered Visage card so much in my Ranger coverage. But I figure, hey, doing him second was still, pretty much just as good. Oh, one final thing I should mention about Igai is that he comes in the Kickstarter exclusive box. He's not in the base game. But that is Shy Guy. I keep saying Shy Guy. That's Igai. Let me know if I missed anything, or maybe there's more you want to know about him in the comments below. Head on over to OnceRanger.com to check out the full card database, and there will be affiliate links below as well. Thank you.